years ago, so we grew to where we are today. So this is very important for us. We do case competitions to know what good students we have in this town around different universities, but also as a recruiting ground for our firm as we fuel our growth. So we went from 0 to 80 employees, and we have high ambitions for the next 5 years, so that's why we're here.
Hi guys, Joe Carbononi, and I work here at RCGP.
Guys, my name is Elias, I'm one of the owners at Evo. We're excited to be here.
You already know me, so you guys have 20 minutes to present. I will be giving you a sign when you have 10 minutes left, 5 minutes left, 2 minutes left, and 30 seconds left. If you go past 20 minutes, I will cut you off. After your presentation, there's 10 minutes for questions. So whenever you want to start, go ahead.
Is the camera ready?
Yes.
Camera is ready!
Go ahead, guys.
Okay, so hello. My name is Guy.
I'm Odile.
Barry.
Ashley.
And we're here to present to you EMN. We're adding a new letter to your guys' group, and the N is for Neos, which means young in Greek. So the agenda for today. So we begin with our mandate, and then we'll be giving an analysis which consists of the situational analysis, the SWOT, a segmentation and target market, our solutions, as well as our marketing strategy, implementation, and finally our appendix. So our mandate. So we want to take advantage of the growth opportunities that are available in Ottawa and target the growing young professionals in the downtown core. So we believe that the downtown core is where we can find a lot of young professionals, which is the primary market you guys currently service and want to continue servicing. And we believe that there's a growing demand within that field and that we can hit that target market with your guys' third restaurant. So situational analysis. Sorry if I'm in front of the screen. So there is the innovation strategy, which is one of the pillars of your guys' success so far. There's a unique dining experience, and there's prime location, which we believe is one of the one of the new pillars that we have to target for when coming up with the third restaurant. So our objectives for the third restaurant are to have a net profit of 50%, increase net profit to 50% by 2021, that's our target date. But we want our first restaurant within the first year to have greater profits than the current restaurants. And 100% customer satisfaction, increase customer base by 100% by 2021. So that means we want to effectively double the rate. And we believe that the prime location will be a big part of the reason why we can increase the customer that your firm serves, your restaurant. So additionally, we want to hit the staffing, and we want to reduce staffing by 25%. And the reason we believe that is because our unique dining experience will allow us to reduce staffing, reduce operational costs, and increase the margins that you operate on. And finally, we want to work on innovation and invest 15% of the net profit towards future innovation in order to stay up to trends with with new technologies and new restaurant techniques, and just really innovate within the industry space, restaurant industry within Ottawa.
Thank you for that, Guy. Now let's move on into our SWOT analysis in terms of expanding into the downtown core. Let's start off with our strengths, what you guys are doing well. First of all, you have a great social media presence on Instagram as well as Facebook. You're well known across Ottawa. Your quality of food that you serve, it's exceptional. People go back because they love the atmosphere as well as the food that you serve. You also have superior customer service, superior customer experience, meaning that people love the atmosphere that you bring. It's family friendly, but then you also have Maddie also has options for young professionals. Now, weaknesses is what you can work upon. If we were to expand into downtown core, we would be asking for higher prices in terms of drinks, but people would be paying these higher prices because you would give them an exceptional customer service experience. In terms of staffing, it's going to be hard to find those right people that fit your restaurant and that are able to bring that customer service experience and give guests that experience that they will be paying for. And finally, funding. How can we get banks to sponsor you, to give you money in order to fund this restaurant, which will be built on Elgin Street. it's going to be really easy because you're well known across Ottawa, as well as you have great service. Now, threats are things that what to watch out for. There's competition on Elgin Street right now. There's a lot of restaurants. There's a lot of bars. So in terms of competition, you guys have this differentiation factor, which is going to be the high quality drinks that you're going to be serving to your guests, as well as this great customer experience. We will be mentioning more in the future. In terms of food costs, because you locally source your products, food costs can be variable sometimes, so it depends on the season. So sometimes the food costs are going to be higher in the winter because they're not going to be as fresh, and you're going to be. So in terms of food costs, that's something we can watch out for, as well as the competition adaptation of our technology that we will be implementing. That is something we will be talking about more afterwards. And finally, for opportunities, you guys conduct a lot of market research in San Francisco, so you can take some of the technologies that they have there and innovate it and bring it to Ottawa. This is going to be one of the first restaurants in Ottawa that will have the technology that we will be talking about. There's also a growing tourism industry in Ottawa, which means there's people across Canada who love visiting the capital city, and nails can be known as one of the prime spaces to go to if you're visiting Ottawa. And finally, there's a lot of young professionals in the downtown core from tech industries such as Clipfolio, and these are the market that we will be trying to attract. This then takes us to our next part.
Okay, thank you. And now I'll address our segmentation analysis. Actually, we divide our segmentation into 3 groups. The first one is young new urban families, and the second one is upscale experimental, and the third one is dream chasers. And we are going to focus on upscale experimental. Since young new urban families, they are new families with kids, and we define them like having children about 1 to 3 years old. So I think the focus is on a family-oriented atmosphere, so we're not going to focus on them. And secondly, upscale experimental group, they are young professionals and they work in downtown areas, so they have high income, so they could afford to go to bars or drinks, or they like parties with others, and sometimes they don't care about the price since they like having fun with friends or going out or hang out with their like co-workers or their colleagues. So that's why we want to focus on them. And also they appreciate the memorable dining atmosphere. Sometimes like the atmosphere is very important for them. They want to have a memorable experience or spending an enjoyable time with your workers or colleagues. So that's why we want to target at them. And the first group is dream chasers, and we define them as families with children aged 4 to 10, and sometimes they have no issue about their income, but they focus more on luxury goods, or they focus on the quality of the dining experience. So sometimes they may choose to live, choose to eat not in a downtown area. Sometimes they like traveling around or taking their kids out for eating. So that's why we want to target at them. Yeah.
Nice. Alright, so now we will move into our solution. How can we bring all of those stuff we talk about into reality? So a core pillar of our solution is innovative strategy, is technology, new technology in Ottawa, in the world, that can really give you guys a competitive edge in the restaurant industry. So right now, a big trend in not just restaurant, but in all marketplace is cashless payment. So a lot of places are moving toward cashless payment systems. And even in Ottawa, we have a startup called App8, and they are a restaurant-based cashless system. They allow you to pay with your phone, bypass the whole getting checks from the waitress and then paying it. That's like another 10-15 minutes. And if you guys get this app incorporated into your restaurants, you can free up the wait staff and allow them to do other stuff. But App8 is not the solution we're going for. It helps a lot. It allows you to facilitate all the payment, but at the same time, the customer, they're still thinking about a price, they're still putting in the effort to click. We want to go a step further. We want to automate the entire payment process. Have you guys heard of Amazon Go.
Yes.
Yes, Amazon Go is a supermarket. You go in, you take your stuff, and you walk out, and that is it. So we want that. We want to bring that vision into the restaurant industry, into your restaurant. We want you to go in. We want you to take what you want, eat what you want, drink what you want. Don't think about price. Just think about pleasure. Just think about enjoying your life. Eat, drink, and leave. Don't bring money into the picture. But Amazon Go is a very cutting-edge technology. We can't bring that to a restaurant right now. Amazon's still developing it, and it's not commercially available yet. So the solution we're suggesting is, instead of all those high-tech computer vision machine learning technology, we'll go a step lower. We'll use RFID tags. When a customer comes to your restaurant, you give them a tag. Whenever you buy something, whenever they want a drink, whenever they want a food, you just scan their ID, you scan their tag, and then at the end of the day, when they leave the restaurant, we scan their tag, and then we just sum up the bill, and boom, payment. But that still requires manual work. So a step further would be also tied to our customer loyalty program. So if you have a customer that come back to your restaurant repeatedly, we could have like an account registered to their RFID tag. So when they come to the restaurant, they're greeted by a hostess. You will get their name, get their last name, assign a name to their RFID tag, like a cool design bracelet that you put on, and then we know other information. So all they have to do is come in, eat, and then they can, when they leave, there will be like a scanner at the door that will scan the RFID tag and it will automatically charge their credit card. So since they're a repeated customer, they have like a record at your restaurant, and they can create an account with our system that we create in-house to facilitate this entire payment system. And then that will allow you to really get a competitive edge compared to other restaurants, because no other restaurant has done this yet. And this is something, this is the innovative technology part, and it's something very new and it's trendy. So on to our next major pillar, which is unique dining experience. So now that we have the RFID tag, we can do a lot more with that. So the way I'm envisioning this restaurant is that it will be like a sushi rotational rotary table, but instead of sushi, it will be drinks, it will be tapas, it will be cool snacks. So whenever somebody just grabs a drink, their wristband get automatically scanned, and it will get charged their account. And when they leave, it will charge their credit card. And this is like an extremely simple process for the customers, and also free up your wait staff. They don't have to constantly go to the customer, ask for what they want, and they don't have to process the payment. And that saves a lot of time. So that means you guys can reduce your wait staff and save even more money on the expense. And on to our last pillar, and that's location, and Gab will talk more about that.
So when considering the parts of Ottawa where you might want to conduct business, usually the suburbs are pretty, boring. You won't have a lot of young people and the type of customer your guys' business have attracted so far. So we're looking more at places within the downtown core, the so-called trendy areas such as Westboro, Lansdowne, and of course places around here. So when considering locations, we decided that the best area for us would be the Elgin Street location. And the reason for that is it's a pretty popular bar scene, as well as cocktails, food. However, it's cheaper than both the Byward Market and probably larger spaces in Lansdowne. And when looking at all the things that attract business, there's a lot of people coming from around these parts, and there's also people coming from the Centertown region and the Golden Triangle, which is a very nice neighborhood. And it's just a great location in which it can hit a lot of the trendy neighborhoods and a lot of the downtown core at once. And when looking at rent prices, for leasing of course, it was something that seemed very doable versus the current prices you guys pay on Preston. And it was something that could be easily factored in, and we think the marginal revenue that can be generated from a place with much greater foot traffic is worth the additional cost in operating expenses. So we thought Elgin Street is the best because it kind of hits the middle 20 to maybe late 30 demographic a bit better than, let's say, the Byward Market, which is often much younger, or Lansdowne, which is more, students and etc.
now I'm going to address the marketing strategy. It is about promotion. And we have 3 strategies for you. The first one is advertising, and second one is comments control on website, and the third one is public relations. As for advertising, I think you should target at tech companies like around the downtown area, like RCGT employees or other companies, because they live here and it's their like achievable commuting areas. So this should be our target customers. And secondly, for comments control, since as for young professionals, they rely a lot on like applications on the phone. Because as for me, I use smartphone a lot, and before going eating, I check the comments or I check the ratings on applications such as TripAdvisor or Google Maps. So I think what you need to do is to remove the negative comments and try to pay for the agency to increase your ratings. I think for young professionals, they think like checking the ratings on application will be an efficient way when they go out to eat. And the third one, I think you should focus on public relations, because now Ottawa is going to be a popular tourist spot, and lots of tourists like come here to visit, and sometimes they will go to some sports event, and if you sponsor some sports event or some local events, I think your brand recognition could arise among like not only about local people but also about tourists. And thirdly, I think our promotion could be achieved on the we could release our promotion on the early May, and then we persuading summer, and then reminding fall. And as you talk to us, like we have peak times during the December, since we have Christmas parties, and we could offer some specials for promotion during December, and just like arouse our brand image and let others to join the parties.
Now, let's move on to our financials.
So we came up with an income statement for the projected first kind of calendar or first entire year of 4 quarters. So when looking, we were told that the margins for the food is around 25%, and the margins for drinks is 32%.
Yes.
So based on that, we extrapolated, we came up with some cost of goods sold for food and drinks, and then from that we multiplied it by 4 and 3 whatever, and got our in-store revenues and total revenue. And from that we got our gross profit. We assumed that one of our assumptions was that rent was going to increase to about $12K a month for this new location, but of course interest, utilities, insurance are fixed costs that are not changing quarter to quarter, while miscellaneous such as advertising and expenses for the restaurant tend to change quarter to quarter depending on how much business you're bringing in. So based on that, we calculated a net profit for the first year of operations at $332,000. And the main difference between this and the other restaurants you currently own is the salaries expense, which we were able to reduce about 20% due to the RFID technology that we're going to incorporate, which requires staffing a lot less people on a day-to-day basis due to having less server time needed to take orders. You can simply order it we're using some sort of technology at the booth or the table you're sitting at, so you'll be saving a lot of time, server time. You won't really have as much discussion, but that's kind of the goal. We want to be very tech forward.
This then moves us into our 2-year implementation plan. How can we make this plan into a reality? So let's start off with what we can do now. Now we can start raising funds by going to banks and talking to them about funding our venture. We can then research the RFID technology as well as develop it by going to well-known developers and asking them and talking to them about how much it would cost to implement. After that, we can start advertising our new restaurant on Instagram and Facebook, getting quotes from tech developers in order to find the one who will give us the lowest cost. consulting with mixologists and chef in order to create our menu as well as our drinks menu, and then hiring a head chef in order to develop our menu. This will then take us into our next quarter, which will be in 2019. So we'll decide on a location. We'll move into that new place. We'll start setting up. We'll confirm the technology with the supplier, and this will be about $70,000 in order to develop this technology. We'll hire staff and we'll train them on the customer experience. We'll then be implementing our RFID technology as well as testing it. We'll do a soft opening to make sure that people know what we're about. We'll listen to customer feedback and learn from it, and then we'll do our grand opening. We'll then do customer feedback in a larger group in order to see what we can improve upon, as well as tweak based on initial customer reactions and what we're learning from the future of technology. So if you have any questions, we're available to ask, but I believe our technology is what you need in order to launch yourself in Ottawa and make your mark. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Good job, guys. I'll start it off. Very well done. Be proud of yourselves. Few insights to share. So I'm very happy that I'm considered a dream chaser. That's the first time I've ever heard of that term, so I'm very pleased for that. Your solution actually connected with me very deeply, because today I was at a restaurant with my hockey team, whole hockey team, all parents. We finished our meal, and then guess what? 30 people needed the credit card machine. Okay? You know how long it took me to get out of there? About 30 minutes today, just to pay. So that problem is there in the restaurant industry. Another quick question for you. Can you actually remove negative ratings from TripAdvisor?
No.
Okay, so be careful when you suggest those things. I don't think you can actually do that. The other thing, somebody mentioned that it's really easy to get funding from banks. It's actually really, really hard to get funding for banks in the restaurant industry. I know that because we just tried to do this and it's not easy. My question is, at the end of the day, this is a technology play,
Exactly.
right? Do you believe that you actually need to open up a new restaurant to see if this technology play works, or can you pilot this at one of the existing restaurants?
So like as we're developing this idea, like I actually thought this idea doesn't just apply to you guys. It could actually be a whole project on its own, and it can be a company that sells this technology to specific restaurants. So it can be a standalone project that we at our CGT can develop, and then we can charge a fee to restaurants to implement it at their restaurant directly.
Okay, that's interesting.
That's what I wanted to know. I wanted to know if we should just develop the idea, get it working, and then sell it to different restaurants and become a restaurant strategy group
Yes.
or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
So 2 different ideas. Why didn't you go down that direction then?
We believe it's also good to expand your restaurant and your brand to become more well-known in the downtown core. There's a lot of foot traffic downtown, so by using that, you can become well-known as well as like target you Ottawa students who are always downtown, co-op students who will come downtown, eat at your restaurant, and then go back to school and use that word of mouth in order to advertise your family business as well as your 2 other busises.
I'd like to add that you guys currently are really in one specific market, and by, of course, like you said, moving to the downtown area just expands your business, and we think that this is kind of the right place for your next restaurant. And like you said, you want to make more money by working less, and we think that the downtown core is where you want to penetrate in order to hit that goal.
Why did you guys pick the name Nails?
Neos actually translates to young in Greek, according to Google Translate. So by using that, we can let the young professionals know that we are targeting them. This is specific to them, and we want to be seen as this young, youthful company. And we have, and by using this new technology, which is also young, we're here for innovation. We're here to adopt new technologies. And we just have a young spirit, a fun spirit. So that's the image we want to project into this new restaurant.
Okay. And you picked a a Greek word because we're just Greek inspired? Is that a?
Yeah, and then the menu options will still be the
Still
topics will
Mediterranean.
still be Mediterranean.
All right.
So just a question, so one of your option was to have this kind of rolling
Yes,
carpet
yes.
where people can just grab their food. So I don't know if you guys travel to Asia,
Mhm.
but this is very common. I travel to Asia a lot, like a few times. And so they have these already.
Mhm.
It's very low end actually, because the plates are color coded.
Mhm.
So blue plates are $10 and red plates are $5 and green plates are $20, and then the waiter just counts your plates and boom, gives you the bill and then you leave. So why would I go with tech play where can I go very low end way of doing it?
Well, like we are targeting like the market targeting a young professional. We still want to keep it like classy. We want it to be like young professionals, especially in the Elgin area. There's Shopify, there's KPMG, there's all of these like young tech firms that they want like these the cool things about like the restaurant. They want it to be something cutting edge. They want it to be technical. Like it's not technical in a very technical sense, but it is interesting in a technical sense. They want to tell their friends they went to a restaurant where they just grab food off the shelf or off the rolling conveyor belt and they just leave and they just drink, eat, and leave. And that's like that's something that could become very trendy.
Wouldn't they have to set up an account or somehow with the
Yeah, so that would be
beforehand?
so if like the repeated customer, that will be part of our loyalty program where the RFID is attached to their name, their credit card, and that will require upfront work, but then the amount of time they save in the long run is enormous. They never ever have to pay again. It's all automated. Take the food off the shelf and then drink and leave.
And to add on to that, when customers first walk into the restaurants, we have a hostess station where they can sign in if they're new customers and they've never been there before. They can sign in and connect their credit cards to their RFID tags so that when they walk in, they're immediately consumed into this experience. They know that this is high tech and they can go and get their plates from the rotating items. And if there's something there that if they want to specialize in what they want to order from us, they can always talk to a hostess, and the hostess will give them specialized items just for them if what they're looking for is not available on the rotating plate.
What if they don't have a credit card?
Well, then there's still a traditional payment option available. If somebody, like when they register and it's notified they don't have a credit card, then it will return to the hostess at the end and the hostess will scan an RFID and then it will be like a bill of all the items that they consume and then they can pay traditionally. But we are aiming toward a complete cashless system, a complete automated system. Like the more you make it easier for a customer to purchase a product, the more product they're going to purchase. If they don't think about the price, they don't think about what they're consuming, how much they're consuming, and how easy it is for them to just consume it, they will consume more and will increase your profit overall.
I support what you're saying. My wife says.
How are you promoting it? How are you going to get people to understand the idea? Because that's a big concept to explain for the first time.
Yeah, exactly. So a easy way to promote it and to let people understand is to leverage existing ad campaign by Amazon. So Amazon Go, they've been doing a lot of promotion. A lot of people are aware of it, and it's becoming a very popular technology. So we'll reference that. We'll be like, we are the restaurant version of Amazon Go, and then we can create promotional video that demonstrates what we mean. Because it's a very simple concept where you just walk in, sign up, eat, and leave. So that's all they have to understand. They don't have to understand the underlying like nitty-gritty details about how everything works. They just need to understand that it's very easy for them to consume at our restaurant.
And then obviously a link to sign up an account.
Yeah.
So I can't do closing comments. So I like your presentation. I like the idea. You guys have a vision of the eating, no hassle. You eat, you leave. It is a great concept. It works well. I'm a bit older than you guys. I have kids, so we go on a Disney cruise once in a while, and they give you a little Disney bracelet when you get in the cruise.
Exactly.
My God, like you're on vacation, you're having fun, you're ordering wines, you're eating things, and then they give you the bill when you leave the boat. It's astonishing how much you can spend in a week.
Yeah.
But you're right. So you just stop counting, and who cares? So it's a good concept. I like it. You put a bit of financial assumption in there. I think that's good. One of the poor thing is I didn't have a capital expense at the beginning. So as you know, I think I say this always: cash is king. And go tomorrow morning and tell someone, you just open a restaurant. These numbers are good, but if it takes $1 million to start,